All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to this new event of Color Connect powered by Grey Lab. So just a word of introduction before we start the interview, just to introduce Grey Lab very briefly. So our mission with Grey Lab is to bring color to the grey areas of business. So that's our mission, and we want to do that with coaching being at the core of what we do. And we have a team of experts. One of them is Sam, which I have the pleasure to speak to today. How are you doing today, Sam?
Yes, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, it's really beautiful here, isn't it? All like Christmassy and lovely.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's starting to feel like Christmas.
It is.
So, Sam Hoyle, obviously, your company is Harmony Accounting,
Yes,
and you're a chartered financial planner.
accountant.
Financial accountant, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I do plan. I help people plan as well. So
You do, yes, that's probably why I was thinking of
yeah.
planning. And also a profit strategist, which I really like that. I think it's quite unique. So to start with, could you please tell us more about yourself and what would you like to say?
Yeah, of course. So, like Clem said, I'm Sam, and I started Harmony Accounting in July 22. And I mainly started it for personal reasons, to be honest. Because I have two very young children, so they're 5 and 4, and working at my corporate job just wasn't going to be able to give me the freedom I wanted to spend time with the kids. And I really pride myself on doing such a good job at work that I knew that I wouldn't be able to put the hours in that I was previously, and I would feel like I wasn't doing as well. So I took the leap to set up my own company, and I felt from working in corporate that females were really sort of, a lot of our clients were male, or the lead person that we spoke to was male. They were never really represented so much in business. So I really wanted to focus on helping females understand their finances. And I explain it in a really clear, jargon free way. And that's mainly because I have to explain it to myself in that way. Like when I read HMRC's website, I read it a few times and I'm like, what is it actually telling me? So I was like, well, that's how I'm going to speak to clients and explain everything to them. So I help businesses with tax returns, all the compliance work that we have to do. But my favorite part is the profit strategist side, because I realized a lot of businesses focus on the revenue, but they don't necessarily understand if that's converting into profit or not. And when they're pricing offers, a lot of people are just kind of grabbing the figure out of the air, and I help them to sort of come up with a pricing that means they are going to make money from it. So, and that's what pays us, isn't it? So we need profit in our business to be able to pay ourselves.
Absolutely, yes. Oh, I love, like, there's several things that you've mentioned there that I think are very important. So obviously your own transition, so the own reason for you to going um, and creating that first business. Tell us more maybe about that step, about
Yeah.
how it happened and how you felt about it.
Yeah, so it originally happened. So I was working at a farm that I really loved, and I loved my job. And like I said, I just couldn't, it was in Stockton, it was like a 40-minute drive. It wasn't going to work with the kids, even though I was convinced before I went on maternity leave that I was going back and I was going straight into that position. And I remember the CEO at the time saying, Sam, you might change. I was like, I won't change. I will be doing this. And I did change. So I took a job that was closer to home. Offered so much flexibility. Apparently, I had a 2-hour interview and it was amazing. We spoke so much about personal development, books that we'd read, and I was like, this is the perfect job. 6 weeks after starting that job, they completely lied to me. It was nothing like they said.
Oh, wow.
The turnover of staff was ridiculous. Nobody had been there like everybody was less than a year, and it was a really well-established firm as well. So I realised I'd made the wrong decision. And then I was like, what do I do now? And I'd sort of, one of my friends, I was just talking to Max about, he'd set up his own accountancy practice and we'd worked together previously. So I reached out to him and I said, I'm thinking of doing it. He was like, right, do it. And we got on a call and he helped me with the sort of mechanics in the background of setting up an accountancy practice. And then I thought to myself, well, what's the worst that can happen? You know, I set this up. I got a different job closer to home. Again, I was a finance manager and it was a lovely company I worked for, but it meant that I could build my business on the side as well. So I worked 4 days a week as a finance manager, and then one day I had the kids at home, but they were still little, they had naps. So every nap time I was like working away, trying to build the business up. And I thought the worst that can happen is I stop the business and I just focus on the job that I'm employed in. And I thought it's, other than feeling a bit of like a dent to my ego for it, it's, nobody's died. I give it a go. And it was going well, and it was all sort of building slowly. Then my daughter got diagnosed with juvenile arthritis in January 23 when she was 2. And we had lots of hospital appointments, lots of operations, lots of medication trials. So she couldn't walk on a morning. She wasn't able to walk for the first couple of hours of a day. And the company I worked for, they were supportive, but I hated the fact I had to ring on a morning and say, sorry, I can't come in, or you're going to have to give me a couple of hours, or I need to go up to the hospital. And the hospital was always the RVI, so it was like a full day out. So I thought, like, I really need to make this business work now. So from January to the April, I worked my ass off. And I left my job in the April and took it full time. And I haven't looked back since. It's been the best decision I made.
Yeah. I love how you have explored options that were going to work for you. So your situation that changed, and you were trying, right? You were like, okay, is this going to be the right fit, or is this? And things keep changing with the health issues coming to the table. So that in itself is super inspiring, isn't it? To just go, right, it's not because it's not out there that you cannot create it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought I was quite good on Instagram, so I was like, I'll just go for that. I'll just try it, and then the more clients I got, I've always prided myself on offering a really good service and being, like a friendly accountant. A lot of people sort of talk to me and they'll say, oh, you're not like the typical ones I talk to, and I'm like, no, I'm just a woman who happens to be an accountant as well. So, I have such a great relationship with my clients, and then they now tell their clients, and I've managed to grow the business. So, but it's still, every time you sort of take the next step up, still that sort of mindset of, oh my God, is this the right decision? What am I doing? It's scary. Like when I employed my first full-time employee this year, that took a lot of, I mean, I've said plan the numbers a million times. I triple checked them. But just making that decision was like a big decision. But then again, I thought, well, if the worst happens, like I could just slightly pay myself less to make sure I'm paying her. But it's, it was the right decision, but it's still scary at the time when you make these big decisions. You sort of think, well, what am I doing? Who am I to do this? But yeah, I think I do a lot of mindset and personal development work, but I really love it as well. So it's, I don't see it as like work to me. It's like my downtime is reading them books and learning and surrounding myself with other people like that. I think really helps.
Yeah. Well, that's extremely inspiring again. And I'd like to go back to what you said as well about empowering women and like changing also what I'm understanding is potentially changing the narrative of what we're expecting to be as a general thing, as a stereotype in the corporate world, and how that is not adapted to, for example, for women, depending on the situation. I'm thinking also of other people that would not fit in the box, people that maybe are introvert or with mental health issues or difference, whatever shape or form that is, and they do not fit into this capacity. And it sounds like, and I really love that individual initiatives of new businesses and things like that bring a different thing to the table. And the way you approach accounting, I believe, is part of that sort of bigger movement of changing things.
Yeah, because I think I don't want to have that stereotypical label on me. And I always find it hard when I introduce myself to people, because they sort of talking like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, an accountant. And you can kind of see the look is like, oh. And I'm like, but I'm not the normal one. But it's just finding what you're really good at and bringing that to the skill that I have. So I'm really good with numbers, but I'm also really good with people and chatting, and I'm happy to have conversations with anybody. So kind of lent into that, and it's worked really well for me. So and then I like to just be able to help other business owners that don't necessarily enjoy numbers. So a lot of people I speak to, they're like, I'm bad at maths, numbers scare me. Like I'm not a numbers person. So I help them to, they'll never become a lover of numbers. Like, it's hard to change it that way, but I help them to use them in the business and know that they are useful,
Yes.
and they don't have to be scared of them.
Yes. A slight change of perspective and a change of relationship, no, with that.
Yeah, and it's kind of trying to change the narrative in the mind as well. So it's
which is connected to mindset again, isn't
exactly,
it?
Yeah.
Yes, very much so. I don't have the statistics, but I really believe that in terms of what is most procrastinated on is doing your accounts.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree.
I mean, like most people I speak to, this is the thing I always put off. This is the thing I always procrastinate on. So that tells me we have something collectively to address, don't we? On numbers, on feeling that this is a horrible thing, and when actually we get to sit down, for most people, get to sit down and do it. Oh, it's not actually that bad.
Yeah.
But I've been procrastinating on it for months and months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always try to say to people, it's like I'm just reading James Clear's Atomic Habits again at the moment. I'm reading it for the second time because I think I read it a couple of years ago when I was sort of at the start of my business journey. And now when you read it again, you get so much more, don't you, from books when you read it when you're at a different point.
Yeah.
Obviously talks a lot about habits. And I would say with numbers, you need to just try and make it a habit that you get into.
Yeah.
So looking at them every month, have like a diary entry that just reoccurs. But then reward yourself with something nice after you've done it, so that it's like, you don't put it off, because once you've done it, okay, I'm going to go and get myself a nice coffee, I'm going to go for a nice walk. And that's like to try and make it better, but also just make it really simple what you look at. Don't overcomplicate it. We just want to know what's come in and what's gone out. So instead of like trying to look at a million massive reports that don't mean anything to you, or reach out to somebody to help you.
And that can be a lot of people's experience, no? Like speaking to the accountant, they leave the meeting and I'm like, I'm not sure I'm clearer. I'm not sure where I'm going or what's going to really happen next quarter. So I really love your approach and how different that is. Could you tell us more a little bit about like what it looks like for a client and what you are doing that is different?
Yeah, so what I do with clients, which I know is different from what we ever did in corporate, is whenever I've prepared somebody's accounts or tax return, I send them a video where I talk through their numbers and I explain to them what they mean, what they're like showing them from last year, what to focus on, anything that I think like might look like they've spent a bit more than you possibly should. There might be a good explanation for it. And then I go through the tax return and I explain to them what it is, what it means, why we've completed this bit, why we've done that. And then I send that over to the client with the accounts, rather than just getting an email off your account with some reports attached that you don't know what you're looking at. And then you very much heavily rely on the accountant, just thinking, well, if they've done them, they must be right. So I always try and explain it. And then I give them the chance to either have a call with me or send me a voice note or any sort of questions. But most of the time, they've said they've never had it explained that way, and now they understand what they're looking at.
So there's an element of teaching them some skills, isn't there? No, so that next time maybe they understand things better. And do you find that it then changes the way that they approach things, like sort of month to month?
I find that once I've worked with a client for a while and they've sort of experienced that, then they'll sort of be more open to looking at like forecasting, looking forward what their numbers are meaning, or they'll say, we've got like a tracker that I share with all clients, and it's really simple. It gives some nice graphs because people aren't always like into looking at the data, they need it more visual. But then they'll come back and they'll say, oh, I've done that and it's telling me this, or they'll then start of asking me questions. So if they want to invest in a new coach, they'll sort of come and say like, look, I think I'm doing this. Does it look okay with my numbers? And that's like, I feel really proud then, because I'm like, oh, this person just didn't want to look at it at all, would just look at the bank balance and go, oh, I think it'll be okay, bye. Whereas now they're like actually really thinking about what they're doing. So I think you just build up that trust, don't you, with people, and they understand that there is no silly question. I mean, I ask questions all the time, and I always have. And I think it's actually really beneficial to ask them. And I never judge anybody. We don't get taught this stuff at school. I think we should, but we don't.
That's a great point, isn't it?
Yeah.
How could we bring that more to the younger generation? And again, because for me, I'm always looking at, okay, how can we change like more like sort of the collective aspect of it?
I think, well, I know they've said they're going to start talking about mortgages and things in schools, which I think is a great step. But I also believe that they should explain what your payslip is, what it's telling you. And if you wanted to go into setting your own business up, what it actually means, because that's kind of not really touched on at all, is it? And now in this day and age, we've got like anybody can set up a business. You've got such a great opportunity to do so. So I really believe that I would say from like secondary school, these things should be part of the curriculum. Because at some point, everybody's either going to get a pay slip or going to have to do a tax return, you would hope. So.
And that would be such a practical way to approach maths, for example, and to talk about numbers in a way that's,
Yeah, so it's actually like, instead of Pythagoras, which we never use again, it's like, well, this is maths, but this is what it means to you personally. And this is how you can budget for your household. And then you can use them skills into a business as well.
And this is how you can save to buy a car, etc., etc. Yeah. Make it more practical and relatable. Yeah. And why did you choose accounting in the first place?
So I joined the RAF, so it was nothing to do with accounts. I'd always grown up and thought I want to travel. My dad had a very big influence on it. He wasn't in the forces, but he always wished he had been. So I joined the RAF on their officer program. That's what I was going to do. I thought, good pension, get to travel. This is what I'm going to do. Did most of my training, came home for a weekend when we were allowed back home, had a bad car accident.
Did you?
Yeah, it was bad. I sort of lost a lot of things on my finger. I just had bones left.
Wow.
So I was off for quite a long time to recover.
Yeah.
I didn't have a driving license. I was passenger. And then I was meant to go back down again on a Sunday. Had another car accident on the Friday. Again, I was passenger, and I kind of felt like the universe was telling me that I shouldn't be going back down. Also, in that time, I met my now husband. So I was kind of, you're a bit young, and I was like torn to staying back at home. And I was like, actually, I think I'm not going to go back. I don't think it's the right thing to do. Didn't know what to do. Was always good at maths. So got an accountancy apprenticeship. And did that, and then worked my way through as a chartered accountant and just on. And I really enjoy it.
How old were you at the time?
I was 18.
You were 18. Yeah. Gosh, what a resilience. You've been through a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, my parents moved from Scotland as well down to here. So it was all like sort of change, which I think actually worked well for me because I didn't have my friends, you have a group of friends, you kind of follow what they do. Where I was kind of very much like, well, I don't have that group of friends because I'm new here. I didn't go to school here. So I very much was able to think about what I wanted to do without sort of peer pressure of others.
Yeah. So more like of a fresh start and getting more of that clarity. Oh,
yeah. Okay. So that's how I kind of went to it because I was good at maths.
Well, you got to go with what you enjoy, don't you?
Yeah. And I was always like, I love numbers at school, and I was never so good at English. So, or whether that's just my mind telling me that, I don't know.
And do you have the impression that you do a lot more than numbers now?
Yes,
because that's what I would say.
Yeah, I do definitely do a lot more numbers, and I really enjoy doing like my weekly emails. I like writing them. I love doing things like this. I like to host like online webinars and talk to people now. And I always wanted to do it back at the start, but I was so scared to do it. And I remember my first online webinar that was like half an hour, and I literally blocked the whole day out because I was like, I don't know, I'm going to cope with this. And beforehand, you're like, your heart's racing, my palms were sweaty, I could hardly talk. I had like 1,000 notes everywhere. And then it went really well, and I got good feedback, and I was like, oh, I can do this. I'm quite good at this. So then I just kept doing them. Like I just kept pushing myself out my comfort zone to do them. And the same with speaking. I was, the first time I did it, God, I think when I stood up and somebody recorded me, I thought, oh my God, so my voice, it was like shaking. But then now I'm like, I just really enjoy it. I'm like really passionate about what I teach. So, and I know that I know my stuff. And if somebody asks me a question I don't know, I just get back to them. It's not.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So you can find it out. So it sounds like you've built your confidence, and you've overcome those difficulties with the doubts, but also with the challenges that life has been throwing at you. It seems that it's been very much anchored into experience. All right, we'll try and we'll see how it works. Oh, it works well. Okay. Right, what could be the next step? Oh, that feels scary. Well, let's try. Oh, it works. Is that how you would relate
definitely.
to it?
Yeah. It's always I always have a sort of saying in my head, I'm like, feel the fear and do it anyway. So I just try things now, and I've tried things and they haven't worked, but I've learned from them. And I think I've always been quite a positive person, so I think that does help. when something doesn't go my way, I kind of think, well, what can I learn or change next time, instead of sort of dwelling on it. And I'm a very calm person. I don't stress, so I know that's on my side as well. As my husband does all the stressing for us, and I'm just chilled.
That's really good. That's really, really cool. So no stress, but then for you it was more like sort of the doubt and the fear and going with the fear.
Yeah, and it was as well. It was I didn't have anybody. There's nobody in my family or in my close like friends who've set up a business or done anything like that. So it was scary in that. But there is a lot of people who are willing to help you if you just ask. Like I just asked Craig, who'd set up his own business.
Yes.
Now I actually mentor a girl from Leeds who found me online.
Oh, that's cool. And reached out?
Yeah, for free. She's seen one of my YouTube videos where I'd done a course for somebody else and I was giving feedback on it. And she just reached out and said, oh, would you give me like an hour of your time to ask some questions? And she was so lovely and in such a similar position to myself. She's just got 2 young twins and she wants to set up on her own. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. So that every month I give my time for free and we meet on Zoom and I help her to grow her own business. And she's handed her notice in now and she's taking it full time in January. So it's like lovely as well. But I like to give back like that too. Yeah. Because like Craig really helped me. So I want to be that person for someone else.
Oh, that's so nice. Because it's been really much like for you for your own situation. But now it's like the impact and the sharing of it is just as important as your own balance and your own situation.
And I think we can all, there's no competition, we can all help each other and we're all better at certain things. Like I know I'm really good with female online businesses, and if somebody comes to me who's more of a tradesman, I'll pass them to Craig, who's an expert in tradesmen. And I know that they'll get a better service from him because he knows everything about that than they would from me. So yeah, I just think it's a collaboration. It really helps.
Yeah. Oh, that's really, really good. And it's just fascinating for me to hear like your journey through everything. Do you have any particular moments that really were milestones for you, breakthroughs and moments that you would think like, okay, that was crucial for me in
so
my journey?
Taking that awful job, because I'd never ever had a job where I sat in the car, I felt like crying and didn't want to go in. So that was the point where I was like, I cannot live my life like this. We spend so much time at work that, and then it was scary telling my husband what I thought I was going to do. It's okay talking to yourself in your head, but when you say it out loud, you're like, oh my God, what am I really doing? But he was so supportive of it, which has obviously helped him as well because I'm able to do school drop-offs, school pickups, and like it helps our family. So that would be it. And then when Sophia got diagnosed with arthritis, that was a this has to work moment for me because I didn't want that. I just wanted to be there for her whenever she needed me. And then I think from growing my business, once I took it full time, it was sort of doing those first webinars and doing those first speaking things where they were always like, that's what other people do, have been doing this for ages, that's not what I do. And then I was like, actually, this could be what I do. So it's every time I've done something that's scary, I think, and it's not, it's worked out, that's kind of been my next, actually, I can do this. I can do this too. But it does get hard, and you get imposter syndrome and feel like everybody's winging it on some level, some wing it better than others, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's through practice, isn't it?
It's through practice, and we bring different things to the table. But what I love about what you're saying is that you don't need to change yourself. You don't need to be an extrovert if you're an introvert. You don't need to be or behave like a man if you're a woman, or whichever sort of gender you relate to. You can bring yourself and your strength and what you've got to the table. But what it sounds like, and I love that obviously, is that for you, the mindset work has been crucial and it's been accompanying you like step by step, and helping you to make things happen, which I think is the best empowering way to do entrepreneurship, to go with like creating your own business.
Yeah, I think mindset's like such a huge part of running a business that people, when they start a business, don't realize, or if they're not, if they've not been in that world or read any of them books or done anything, it can really make or break people. And I think because I just really enjoy learning as well. So
Yeah. Yes.
and then when you read other stories, and then like I do think like I work on it every day pretty much.
Yeah.
Like
It's an ongoing thing.
yeah,
It's not like
but it's for your own self-care, I think.
it is.
Yeah,
It is. And it works when you take it as this is part of everything else.
yeah,
Not like this is this retreat I'm going to do or this weekend. It's
yeah,
like every day.
yeah. It's just
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like I do like my morning 5 minute like gratitude journaling,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and it just helps if the kids have been up all night and you've had one of them days. I'm like, actually, this, I am grateful for all of this that I have. So yeah, just
Very helpful.
yeah.
And so were you into the mindset and personal development work before you started your business? Did it kind of sort of happen at the
It
same
happened
time?
when I was on maternity leave, actually. I got into it. I seen some things online, and then I read the first book I ever read was Jay Shetty's Think Like a Monk. And then I liked that, but some of it I still found hard to understand because I was so new to it.
Yeah.
And then I just sort of started like Googling, if I've read this, what should I read next? And then I started going through them. So like I really liked Hal Enrod's one about the miracle morning.
Yeah.
And so I started changing that up. And I've always been into sort of fitness and home workouts. So then I was like, oh, I'm just going to create myself a little routine and see how this works.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy, and then just from there, I just kept reading more podcasts. And then I attended some like in-person events in London with a lady called Norhabit.
Cool.
And like just the energy in the room,
Yeah.
that's just amazing.
Yeah.
Then you meet other people who are in completely different industries, but you all have the same sort of mindset, and it's really nice. Yeah.
Oh, that's extraordinary. Very great. Yeah. So I cannot stop myself from asking you this question about what would you share in terms of advice to a business owner, whether it's a store trader or a limited company. And it can be about the mindset, it can be about the numbers, it can be about everything. But from your point of view, so obviously we're at the end of 2025, getting ready for 26, and it can be a bit of a milestone for everyone, like looking back and sort of evaluating how the year has been and thinking ahead and trying to get excited about what's to come. Yes, if you had something you wanted to share and to say, this is what I would recommend for you to change your relationship with your numbers and have a great year ahead. What comes to you?
Well, my number one tip all the time is just save for your taxes, which sounds really simple, but so many people don't do it.
Yeah.
So that's always my number one tip. And then just look at your numbers. You don't. It doesn't have to be like a full day, because nobody wants to spend a full day doing it.
No.
If you spend 30 minutes just looking at what's happened over the last year. And then it's really good as well. So if you look at the last year, month by month, you can see where you've had like peaks or troughs, or where it was quieter. And then if it's like sort of a seasonal thing that's going to happen regularly, you don't feel so bad when it's happening the next year. You're able to sort of plan it out as well.
Anticipate.
And I always think setting goals and reverse engineering them is like a really fun thing to do. So I do it, but the way I do it is, which is the little QR code on here, it's like a dream life calculator. So it's like, this is what
I've downloaded that.
I want to pay myself. How can I get my business to do that for me? And that's always makes it more fun than just saying, I want to make £20,000. It's like, right, what are you going to do with that? And that's the fun part. And that's how I try and bring the fun into numbers. So it means
bring the
more
vision.
to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can do it, like I do a vision board, but I do it and I look at it, but then I'm able to price what each thing is, so I know how much I need to earn to bring that to life. And then that's how I use my numbers to get there.
I love a recent video that you posted about, I already have booked my holidays, I know which holidays I want to book, so this is what's going to happen there and there. So my year is super planned, and I'm super excited about it. So I think that's a great example of this is where we can get to if we do that regular work. And so important, I think, that you mentioned that it's regular, because such a simple thing like saving for your taxes, if you've not done your numbers and you don't know how much to save, that's a simple thing. Okay, saving monthly is very, very important, but I need to have a little bit of an idea of how much I need to save for, right?
Exactly.
So simple things, but it's connecting the dots again.
It is, it is, and it's It's like I say to people, if you have software, just make sure you've categorized everything every month and have a look at your income, expenses, and your profit. And then your profit helps you determine your tax.
Yeah.
And it can just take like half an hour to do. And,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be more difficult than that.
No, it doesn't. Okay, wonderful. Great. Thank you so much, Sam.
You're very welcome.
We're going to stop the recording now and open up for questions. Our next